Miss Rucker spends all day planning, working, worrying. If only she'd spend part of her day cleaning up after herself. The White Spring is in shambles! A mess! How can I clean that which continues to dirty itself? Oh, these responders have gone too far. The better question is, what is right? Everything has run amok. Chaos. Chaos! The responders have taken over the White Spring. Imagine all of the dirty footprints on the carpet, dust all over the tables, the horror.
Certainly see what I can do about that. I'm sure I can.
I am but a humble servant of the White Spring Resort, dedicated to greeting each guest with pleasantries and candor. Or I was, back when our guests had class and decorum. It's some sort of relief effort for all of the refugees in and around Appalachia. If only there was a relief effort for my stress. That would be the enigmatic Orlando. They oversee the White Spring and are allowing the responders to stay here, as well as their constituents. I do apologize for the mess. Please enjoy your stay. Looking for something new to spruce up your life? Stop by Giuseppe's Curios in the main.
I think I heard a protect from Sparks the other day. Am I going crazy?
Well, hello, darling. A pleasure to meet another guest of our fine establishment. I am Orlando, your host and management liaison. If you'll pardon me for just one moment. That will be all. Please give my regards to Ms. Rucker. If you are here for leisure, I regret to inform you that our regular resort activities are temporarily unavailable. However, if you are here for the refuge and the fine work of the lovely responders, I am delighted to welcome you on their behalf. Are you really, dear? How marvelous! In that case, I'm sure you can't wait to get involved here. Not as such, dear. They have my wholehearted support, and that of the White Spring management, but no. I am the management liaison for the White Spring, as I said, here to provide assistance to the responders' refuge efforts. My primary duties, otherwise, are to the caretaking and oversight of the White Spring itself. Really? I shouldn't like to brag, but I would think it quite remarkable if you mistook the White Spring for something else. There's no need to be embarrassed. The refuge welcomes all, regardless of circumstance. And as for the White Spring itself, I am always delighted for us to receive new visitors, despite our diminished services. But if you must, I do hope you will return. Hello again. Are you here for the... Yes, I believe the originals had been. Quite a tragic tale. Such a noble endeavor. Fortunately, their ideals and organization have been revived, and this refuge is their new home. If I may be totally honest with you, dear, I have heard others use the responder's name as well, to be fair. But I think Appalachia could always use more people with such altruistic goals, so that's all right. I'm sure you agree. Ah, perhaps you have not heard. The White Spring is now home to the refuge, a place of safety and care for all in need. The refuge is being run by the responders, individuals committed to the well-being of their fellows. They founded the refuge in response to new waves of refugees coming to Appalachia, people in great need of help. Food, medical care, clothing, a place to sleep. All of these are available for those who need them. Anyone in need of help, yes. You appear more well off than our usual guests, though, if I may say so. Less bedraggled than those poor souls. Armed. The refuge exists primarily to serve those who cannot help themselves. The starving, the sick, the homeless. There is a clinic, a kitchen, beds, recreational facilities, all manner of care to be found here. I'm so pleased to be able to assist in my own small way, of course.
Oh, how are we going to accommodate so many
Of
guests?
course, dear. The owners of the White Spring itself. The resort, hotel, golf course, all of it. Very much still alive, I assure you, though regrettably unable to oversee affairs in current circumstances. As such, now that we have new guests, they have sent me in their stead to take care of things as needed. I couldn't be more pleased to do so. A delicious opportunity to be of help and meet fascinating people such as yourself. Darling, I am entirely at your disposal. As I've said, I am the management liaison for the White Spring. I oversee the facility itself and its robotic staff. In addition, on behalf of the management, I arrange for the provision of certain material aid to the responders. They still have substantial resources and generously offer to share them to support their noble efforts.
Did Giuseppe overcharge me for that hairbrush?
No, not by any prior arrangement. Perhaps you visited us before. I must apologize for the state you found it in, if so. Regular operation of the facilities had been stopped, of course, due to a lack of guests. Only the robotic staff remained. The responders, believing it abandoned, took up residence, a completely understandable occurrence, of course. With new and worthy occupants, the management felt it wholly appropriate that it find a new purpose, and sent me. Until such time as the world needs leisure resorts again, the White Spring is happy to support the refuge.
I got a veiled threat from Orlando the other day telling me
Darling, you must understand. A place like the White Spring had, indeed still has, very wealthy people behind it. As was always the case, the truly wealthy had advantages the common people, such as you and I, lack. As for the White Spring itself, the staff of top-of-the-line robotic servants, security, and maintenance allowed it to weather the worst. Me? Have I beguiled you already, dear? I appreciate the flattery, of course. You must allow me to retain some mystery for now, though. I wouldn't want you to lose interest. Perhaps we can talk more some other time. We both have more important matters at the moment, I'm sure. Of course, dear. What can I do for you?
I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers
Suspicious. Whatever would make you say that? Oh, my poor darling. The hardships of the world have made you so cynical. This truly is a safe haven in a cruel world, I assure you. But if you must go, you may of course do so. I do hope you will return, dear. It's been a pleasure meeting you. Welcome back. What a wonderful thing for you to ask, darling. I knew there was something special about you from the moment I saw you. As it happens, the responders are looking for volunteers to assist them in a particular outreach effort. Those industrious wonders have repaired a vertibird to full working order and are using it to make contact with more distant settlements. They've made allies with people in Pittsburgh. The locals call it the Pit now, who seem to be in dire need of outside assistance. If you don't mind me saying so, you look like you can handle yourself. You might be just who they're looking for.
Big to solve.
Judging by what I've heard, it's an accurate one, sadly. Pittsburgh was bombed quite severely during the war. The poor individuals still living there have renamed it to better reflect its dreadful circumstances.
How are we going to accommodate so many guests?
They call themselves the Union. Something of a resistance movement, I understand, against more aggressive forces. One of their representatives is currently staying with us, a Mr. Skippy Rorich. Delightful man. Indeed, isn't that marvelous? They salvaged it and painstakingly repaired it. It's fully functional now. I was very pleased to be able to contribute to this effort in my own small way. If you wish to see it, it resides on the roof of the refuge between flights, along with its charming pilot, Miss Lennox. No? What a disappointment. I'm sure you have your reasons, darling, but I did hope you might be interested. Please, enjoy the hospitality of the White Spring and the refuge. If you change your mind, do come see me again. Change your mind, darling? Interested in helping the responders, after all? Well, they'll be better able to explain the details, but I believe they're looking for fighters, actually. Their contacts in the pit are in something of a desperate situation, it seems, against a dangerous enemy. I hate the thought of you putting yourself in such danger, but it does appear to be for a good cause. Oh, you're terribly brave, aren't you, dear? Imagine if we all had such courage. Now, darling, before anybody bundles you off, the first thing you should do is introduce yourself to some of the responders. I just so happen to know a few in need of more local assistance, and helping them will earn you the other thing you'll need. That other thing being, of course, their trust. The vertibird does belong to them, after all. In an ideal world, darling, I'm sure they would. Sadly, this is not that world, and any reticence on their part is understandable. I don't want to speak for the responders, but I believe they may also see this as more for their union friends than for themselves. Your assistance with their more immediate concerns will ensure everyone benefits. Isn't that a good outcome? My dear, you must understand, much as I would like to, my responsibilities do not permit me to do so. I am but a humble employee of the management. The vertibird is not the property of the White Spring itself, and is thus outside my purview. I hope you will not begrudge me my loyalty. I find myself quite fond of you already. I'm so sorry to hear you say that, darling. Still, it must be your own decision, of course. Should you change your mind, come find me. In the meanwhile, please, make yourself at home. You are always welcome here. Glad to see you reconsider, darling. I believe we were...
Considering all the places I could have ended up...
Glad to see you reconsider, darling. I believe we were discussing you earning some goodwill from the responders. Our lovely Ms. Rucker is the closest thing to a leader the refuge has, though I believe she's less than comfortable with the title. You can find her in their headquarters, beyond the dining area. The darling chef, Miss Rousseau, needs some assistance in the kitchen, I hear. And Miss Wagner, over in the common area, is looking for donations. I'm sure your generosity will be well rewarded. No need for such sour looks, darling. If the gratification of having done good deeds for your fellow Appalachians is not enough, I'm sure there will be ample rewards. When you're done, speak to Mr. Skippy Rorich. He's a representative of the Pit Union, staying with us in the refuge. No doubt he'll want to explain the situation in the pit before you depart. Do feel free to visit me at your leisure if you wish to chat. I have an office in the management wing. You can't miss it.
Mr. Della Ripper only likes to organize himself. Nothing else.
If you see anyone struggling out in Appalachia, be sure to tell them about the White Springs. It's been so long since I've had food with actual flavor.
Good morning. The dining room is open for please.
Need anything?
Always something that needs to. Well, seems like timing is one of your strong suits. Look, I can stitch up a gash with the best of them. But Appalachia, well, she can do a lot worse than cut us open. Got a lot of folks here with sickness we don't understand, and injuries we don't know how to treat. What we need more than anything is know-how. So I propose we trade what I got that I don't need for what you need that you don't got. I've heard you're looking ahead into the pit. And the only safe way out of Appalachia is that metal bird Lennox has perched up on the roof. She don't fly without my approval, and right now, you ain't got it. So, that's the deal. You bring back medical information that'll help me figure out how to help these folks. And I'll okay your little expedition. Hope you don't mind heading into the mire. Can the responders count on you? Well, Braxton's is a weird little place, the way I hear it. Some kind of medical supply company. We're hoping to find something there that can help us repair the equipment we already have. Maybe even improve on it. So, what do you say? Want to help the responders make a difference? All right. Well, come back if you change your mind.
The folks don't join the responders for caps. They join to make a difference.
Welcome back. Got a patient in last night. None of us have any idea what's wrong with him. But we do have a lead on something that'll help, if you're up for it. Hope you don't mind heading into the mire. So, how about it? Nice. Well, let's get to it then. Anything you're able to find, go ahead and bring it back to our lead medic. I'll let her know to look for you. Good luck out there.
I could really use a drink. Very charming. But Rucker wants us sober on the job. You'd think with all of that tinkering Skippy does that he'd have come up with something more medicinal.
Bonjour! My name is Esme Rousseau, but most people around here know me as Chef Esme. We've had some representatives from Foundation and Crater come here seeking assistance with the recent influx of refugees. I thought that we could help them out by providing some food for their people. I've started a pot of venison and potato stew, one of my newest creations. Would you be able to help me finish it? How wonderful! I can't wait to whip up something delicious for everyone! The stew requires potatoes, venison, salt, black pepper, and carrots. The ingredients can be found in our storage area. Your job is to grab the ingredients and put them in before the stew burns. Super! Let's have you start by stirring the stew, which will help keep it from burning. Remember to continuously stir during the cooking process. Fantastic! Let's get the first ingredients and prepare them. We're looking for carrots, potatoes, and the pièce de résistance, le venison.
No reservations required. Help yourself to any table.
This is smelling delicious. Let's add more flavor with some salt and pepper now.
Please seat yourself. A waiter will be with you shortly.
Is this a refuge or a palace?
gives the Mirelurk meat. Great work!
The work I do is...
Now that your stew is done, it is time to add your own special touch. A restorative element? How inspired! Delicious and useful. I am sure whoever you choose to give it to will be very appreciative. Here is your finished stew. Now, it is time to feed some of the hungry. I believe you can find the raider and settler representatives in the bar area. You must make a choice, since there is not enough to feed everyone, I'm afraid. I'll do my best to gather more ingredients so that we can cook again another time.
It's been sunny all week. I love it here.
I hope we get some Deathclaw meat soon. Its tenderness is magnifique. No Mount in Appalachia will go hungry with Chef Esme around.
Are you at the refuge? We've got people going hungry, and too many mouths to feed at Foundation.
A lot of supplies here that look ripe for the picking.
Huh, I never would have thought to add a stim pack to food before. Truly inspired.
I love this. May I interest you in wine, beer, and/or spirits? Guests are welcome to relate their problems.
What a crowbar.
Well, hello there, stranger. Pleased to meet you. I'm Sophie Wagner. Look around. The refuge. Quite a place, isn't it? I mean, sure, fancy pants golf club resort, that's nice, but I'm talking about the refuge. A haven for the lost, the dispossessed, the hungry, and unfortunate. A monument to our ability to have compassion for each other. Isn't it grand? Isn't it worth preserving, building, growing?
One of the other initiates said I reek of desperation.
Yes, exactly. You understand, I can tell. A future filled with people supporting each other, regardless of background or history. It's always good to meet someone who can see the big picture. Now, how'd you like to be a part of it? Refugee camp? Is that all you think this is? Look closer. Sure, we're taking in refugees, but we're also making sure people get medicine, clothing, and food. This isn't just 3 hots and a cot. It's the first step to a world where everybody's got a chance. And you can help. Sort of. Well, I haven't seen you around before, so, glad to have you. But I wasn't trying to recruit you anyway. I'm actually more in the material support end of things. Scouting for volunteers isn't really my department. Now that's what I'm talking about. People supporting each other. You got the right spirit. Rutgers put me in charge of running a bit of a donation drive. Have you met Rucker? She's amazing, you should. Anyway, it might surprise you to know an operation like this is always churning through supplies. We work hard to keep things in stock, and that funny Orlando character does their best to help out as well, but well, we still have shortfalls. So here I am, asking generous folks such as yourself to help us fill in those gaps and keep the refuge running.
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others. It feels like I've died.
Oh yeah, I guess I am.
Or
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why shouldn't I be? We're living in the aftermath of the apocalypse. But here we all are in a place filled with people dedicated to helping each other. You ask me, that means we're pretty dang lucky, right? A lot to be excited about. Happy, even. I prefer to think of it as mutual aid. We're a community, pulling our collective resources so that nobody has to go without. Charity is more like the well-to-do buying a clean conscience by giving away their table scraps. And it's not just hanging around. I need to get the donations packed, stored, logged, the whole 9 yards. Rucker's got a real quartermaster's mindset. So you better believe she wants it all squared away properly.
The work I do is extremely rewarding.
Hey, I get it. Busy, right? Lots to do. I hope you'll change your mind, though. You could do a lot of good. Stay safe. Hey, you're back. Rucker's put me in charge of running a bit of a donation drive. Have you met Rucker? She's amazing, you should. Anyway, it might surprise you to know an operation like this is always churning through supplies. We work hard to keep things in stock, and that funny Orlando character does their best to help out as well, but well, we still have shortfalls. So here I am, asking generous folks such as yourself to help us fill in those gaps and keep the refuge running.
Around those raiders? I want nothing to do with you.
Let me check my notes. Well, I'll tell you, we've had a heck of a run on raw cloth, and it's really drained our stock. If you could spare, say, 50 pieces, It'd be a huge help to us. Oh, lots of places. Old stuffed toys, pillows. Heck, you can even make some out of old newspapers or magazines. Yeah. The warm glow of providing aid to your fellow person. The joy of supporting a noble and worthwhile cause. Isn't that great? Okay. If that's not enough for you, Rucker's given the okay to dole out a little of some supplies we've got plenty of. I got a feeling you might be helping out there. So I bet you'll find a use for these. Okay, that's all right. I know not everybody's where they need to be. I hope you'll reconsider. You know where to find me if you do.
Folks don't join the responders for caps. They join to make a difference.
That power armor training's tough, but not that scribe training is hard too.
Helping people is our chief.
Glad to see you've
Cool uniforms.
That's okay. Who just carries that around in their pockets or whatever, right? I'll be here all day, though. If you want to come back, bring it by later. If you can, of course. You know where to find me. It'd really make my day if you did. Glad to see you've returned.
Oh, these robots sure make my job easier.
That's okay. Come back if you're ready to donate. Glad to see you've returned. Are you ready to donate? You do? Amazing. Thank you so much. This is going to be a big help. It just so happens I got a little something for you as a reward for your generosity. We might need a lot of things, but you know how it is. Poor in one way, rich in another. I'll put together some of what we can spare for you. And I've got a feeling you're gonna need them. See? Mutual aid. Everybody wins. Thanks so much for the help. Drop by again. If I know Rucker, I'll be looking for something new every day. Take care of yourself.
I got happy beside this refuge. Step right up, my friend. I've got a special opportunity for you approved by management themselves. How would you like to go on a little vacation? Then you'll be happy to hear that part of this vacation involves helping out the local residents. We are offering free travel to America's playground, Atlantic City, New Jersey, a haven of wonder, excitement, and opportunity. Fully governed and, I assure you, safe from the dangers of the outside world. In exchange for your all expenses paid vertebrate flight, all we ask is a little assistance paid back to the locals. Sounds like a deal, right? That's right. As long as the city leadership hears you're helping out, that's all they ask of you. They were mighty jazzed to hear word of an organization from abroad that's all about helping people. You can always use fresh faces in AC, especially ones with initiative. That's what keeps our city alive. It varies from person to person. I don't have all the details, but I know the Lombardi family is looking for assistance with some business matters. If game shows are more your style, the showmen are always looking for fresh faces to star in their entertainment. I'm sure a bright person like you will find just the opportunity you're looking for.
I'd love
Now that's what I'm talking about. I let Orlando know you've agreed to help out, and I'm sure they'll get word back to the city leaders. And hey, you come right back and talk to me if you have any questions, all right? I'm your one-stop guide to the city. We are offering free travel to America's playground, Atlantic City, New Jersey. A haven of wonder, excitement, and opportunity. Fully governed and, I assure you, safe from the dangers of the outside world. In exchange for your all expenses paid Vertebrate flight, all we ask is a little assistance paid back to the locals.
Amazing. So fresh. And only a few wraps.
It varies from person to person. I don't have all the details, but I know the Lombardi family is looking for assistance with some business matters. If game shows are more your style, the showmen are always looking for fresh faces to star in their entertainment. I'm sure a bright person like you will find just the opportunity you're looking for. That's right. As long as the city leadership hears you're helping out, that's all they ask of you. They were mighty jazzed to hear word of an organization from abroad that's all about helping people. You can always use fresh faces in AC, and especially ones with initiative. That's what keeps our city alive. Of course. Well, by all means, ask away. Do you remember relaxing beach getaways? Exciting outside of the town? Amenities and entertainment to fill your safe and mundane life with inspiration and excitement? Even if you're not old enough to remember those blissful before days, Atlantic City is your chance to experience them for the first time. Our city is safe, luxurious, and beautiful. But don't believe me. See it for yourself.
Can't believe we've got a vertibird. That's a step up in the world
Well,
I've never seen.
now, of course, reality is always more complicated, but just like any place, it depends on where you stick your head. Stick it too deep, and well, you're not likely to appreciate it. Fine, but I much prefer the delightful breeze comfortably above the water. First off, you can take a relaxing stroll along the boardwalk, enjoy the street vendors and a delightful sea breeze. Larger attractions take place at Showman's Pier on the far end of the boardwalk. Underneath the pier, you lose yourself in the architectural wonder of an aquarium built beneath the sea. When night falls, Casino Quarter has everything you need to make it an evening to remember. Nightclubs and casinos galore. Further inward, all the magic you don't see happens at the city center. That's where the mayor's office keeps the city running.
But that Brotherhood gig of his...
Outside of civilians and visitors such as yourself, there are three groups that keep on the lights and life of Atlantic City. The showmen are entertainers, hosting performances and games of all kinds, primarily from the boardwalk and pier. The Lombardi family, they manage the nightlife of the Casino Quarter. They're an intimate bunch, but don't be intimidated. They're as much a part of Atlantic City's charm as anyone else. And last, but definitely not least, our city government workers manage the day-to-day operations that make life easy for the rest of us. Well, our city is run by the tough and virtuous Mayor Tim. Once a humble farmer, now a city leader. Around Casino Quarter, you hear the name Quintino Lombardi. He's known to be a bit hot-headed. He's been the head of the family for a long time. And finally, there's Mother Charlotte, the creative and daring founder of the Showman. These three work together to provide the city with everything it needs to thrive. Lights, entertainment, and a functioning economy. Threats? No, you're unlikely to encounter any of those. Unless the gorgeous wildlife of the Pine Barrens board in our city becomes unruly. But the mayor's office, that's that completely under control. No, of course not. Of course every city's got city going on. It's just, that's what you're talking about. You know, stray drama, Big shots talking about who disappeared who stole whose exclusive designer drugs, who's all screwed up until they get another dough. I'm kidding, of course. That's all radio drama. Good old-fashioned entertainment, isn't that right? Oh, and we were just getting to the good part. Well, Bob?
Damn,
Right? Unless the...
nasty.
It's the safest place in the wasteland. You have my guarantee. Oh. Jeremiah Hopkins. Mighty pleased to make your acquaintance. I'm at your service to tell you anything you'd like to know about Atlantic.